back, everyone, to the Stay Firm Analyst Desk. RNG just beat PSG and locked their spot in the knockout stage. And if you're a MAD Lions fan, you will definitely look at the draft as a place where the Lions can possibly roar a little louder. Oh, we get a piggyback ride.
Carrying Carzzy.
Carrying Carzzy. I think it's the other way around in a couple of the last games.
Yes.
So let's look at the draft. Yesterday, of course, we had the example of the MAD Lions going up versus Damwon Lyric. And to me, it looked like a case of the MAD Lions were stalling, but they kind of rolled over and died. And that doesn't seem like the right approach versus Damwon.
No, I definitely don't think it is. We've highlighted that Damwon's early game weaknesses earlier in this tournament. We've especially seen with their bot lane, which has been one of MAD Lions' strong spots, right? We've seen Carzzy popping off, but we really haven't seen MAD Lions punish that, especially in draft. And, you know, the place that I always gravitate towards is mid lane, because a lot of the other champion picks are pretty static in the meta right now. But for MAD Lions, it's been a lot of Viktor, a lot of Orianna. Heck, we've even had the rise in the Kog'Maw. So I definitely love to see more aggression coming out of Humanoid to enable their bot lane more.
Yeah, and I think if you look at this draft, especially the mid lane matchup like Lyric was talking about, Zoe versus Viktor, this was the same matchup PSG versus RNG had, where Maple had the push into Crying and was able to impact the bot side. So a very similar situation here, where it feels like Humanoid's just kind of scaling to 2-3 items under his tower, while it feels like ShowMaker can push in and roam to sides. Now, when they're winning on the bot side on the map as well, where Ghost and BeryL were actually winning out against Carzzy and Kaiser, when you have that mid push too, it's so hard for Elyoya to actually be able to do anything on the map, losing mid, losing bot, and you have a Shen just to cover it. I think the game slowed down a little bit when Damwon was being a bit careful around the Shen pick, but Shen normally wants to make plays happen on the map, get towards bot side, but when you've got Khan on the Lee Sin, he just naturally wins.
Yeah, he does, and that I found interesting because there was a bit of discussion as well about the Shen pick, but as you say, you can just as well be aggressive on the Shen. You make sure that your bot lane engages, and then you get to ult in and protect your AD carry or your support, but that requires a lot of coordination, and you need to keep your eye on the rest of the map.
Yeah, and their bot lane was losing before Shen was able to hit 6, I think, as well. So we've got actually a different replay here of the PSG versus MAD Lions game, where the bot side actually went in the side of favor of PSG, I believe, where MAD Lions was the strongest point of the team in the bot lane. Felt like they were winning out on most of the 2v2s, but recently it feels like they're losing out on the 2v2s.
And when you look at kind of picking for lane a little bit more and making sure that you don't get pushed out immediately, Lyric, that does beg then the question, but is that really the best thing to do versus Damwon? Because they've got some of the best players in every role, in every position. I feel like it's a catch-22. What would you say the MAD Lions need to do specifically in this game?
For me, again, it's about drafting, I think, strong mid-jungle 2v2. We've seen Humanoid playing the Lucian a few times at this tournament. Pick that one up, try and keep ShowMaker in the lane. ShowMaker has been a standout. And then as long as your bot lane's not making those same mistakes at level 2 and 3, I do believe Carzzy and Kaiser overall have had a better tournament than Ghost and BeryL.
I think the key thing for Damwon, if you want to beat them, where Cloud9 was able to win, RNG was able to win, early game's not a big deal, but having mid-push and having a winning jungle matchup is the most important thing to me.
All right, we've got our task list ready for the MAD Lions. Let's get into the draft and head over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Sjokz. We are here, MAD Lions versus Damwon KIA, and we've already discussed on the analyst desk how the game went last time. MAD Lions really unable to find any purchase in that matchup. Now they are on the blue side, which of course opens up a wealth of opportunity for a possible first pick, but we already see the Renekton and the Thresh being banned away.
And I feel like that, if you're a European fan, what you want MAD to demonstrate is what PSG demonstrated, is that they are going toe-to-toe with the top teams, right? They are challenging RNG, and it feels like the MAD have only struggled against DK and RNG and haven't really showed anything. So here in this rematch, we want to see something different. We want to see a little bit more of an aggressive MAD, a different shade of MAD that can prove that they can actually go toe-to-toe against the favorites of the tournament.
Oh, definitely. I think MAD, during the regular season, and at least in ADC playoffs, really showed that even if they fell behind in the early game, they were able to come back. They found skirmishes, they found picks, they found team fights. We didn't see that too much against Damwon KIA yesterday. Now, I will say the Nocturne banned out early here from MAD alongside the Tahm Kench perhaps makes me think they are looking towards a Lee Sin first pick. Of course, Nocturne very good into the Lee Sin. Senna also available, as you say.
Oh, so I think the reason why they banned the Tahm Kench is because they want to leave the Senna up, but don't want to first pick it. So, as you rightly said, probably more like a Lee Sin priority. Oh, a lot is open.
Morgana, Rumble, Lee Sin, all of them still available. Of course, with Morgana and Rumble being up, you can take the Lee Sin and still get yourself one of the S-tier junglers. Udyr is also available, as you say.
Excuse me, let's have a look here. You imagine that the Kai'Sa Nautilus is going to be the response from Damwon. Ghost has played a lot of Kai'Sa this tournament. Oh, okay, never mind. My predictions just suck.
Never mind.
Do they? Haha! Okay, I was close. Kai'Sa, of course, a very common first pick, so shouldn't really get much credit for that.
It's all right, we won't give you any.
Canyon on the Udyr. The question is now, how will MAD respond? They could Olaf. I'm not a massive fan, but they could, and it's considered a pretty strong matchup into the Udyr, largely because you can duel, and the anti-CC can be pretty valuable. Against the Kaiser, it's also not too bad. Oh, we're going to see the Xayah Leona response from MAD, so they're going to learn from the PSG game.
Yep.
Take a page out of their book. The expectation is that it will be the Nautilus to come through from the side of Damwon.
Could you not go Xayah Nautilus here and just take away the Nautilus from the Kai'Sa Nautilus
I
lane?
just don't think it's as strong.
I get that.
I'm not the strongest when it comes to knowing like the best optimal 2 versus 2s. I'm just pretty confident that Xayah Leona... The problem is, if you go Xayah Leona here, they then don't have to lock in Nautilus, right? So it seems to me that MAD is saying, okay, here's what could happen. If we lock in Rumble, what they could then do is pick Nautilus and ban away the counters to Nautilus. Fine. We don't have the best 2 versus 2 bot lane, but we do get Rumble.
Yep.
Yay, we get Rumble. Notice, by the way, he's hovering Kog'Maw and Shen. These are 2 picks that MAD Lions have played. I don't know if that's some sort of BM, or if I don't know if they're laughing or something, or if there's something there. I feel like there's something there.
Well,
but,
it was Armut on the Shen last time they played against each other.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But the Kog'Maw hover is also something that Humanoids played, but like. Yeah, I don't. It does feel like they're taunting them a little bit. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a bit of gamesmanship happening in this draft, and I'm here all for it. There's the Leona banned away with the Nautilus pick that we were discussing. Of course, if MAD had decided to go for the Leona instead of the Rumble, then we would have seen Rumble and Morgana probably banned out here by Damwon.
Exactly.
So it's one of those decisions you have to make. You're going to sacrifice something, and they decided to sacrifice that support pool just a little bit. Now taken away from Khan in the top lane. Of course, Khan could always go back to his old faithful, the Scion, 14-4 on it in the regular season of the LCK.
Orianna ban. Interesting. I was kind of expecting the Alistair to be taken off the board. Of course, I think that Nautilus is still fine into the Alistair. Obviously, I was going to say they're not afraid of the Thresh here, but Thresh is already banned because Damwon banned Thresh literally every game.
Yep.
So, what will the final ban be? Set. Okay, so all the big top lane answers into...
Lee Sin.
Yes, Lee Sin have been taken off the board. Once again, the Shen hover. So personally, I wasn't a fan of the Shen pick yesterday. I didn't think it did a lot. I don't think that it won lane against Lee. I don't think you could really match him in a side lane later because Lee just has better wave clear. And then in the team fights, I don't think it did a huge amount. So I'm not impressed by the Shen. It really does feel like Damwon also wasn't that impressed by the Shen. Ooh, are we going to get to see an Aatrox?
Yes, we are.
By Khan. Okie dokie. Well, we have not really seen much Aatrox this tournament.
I don't think we've seen it pretty much at all.
I think we may have seen one.
Yeah, we saw one back in
The
group
group
stage, I
stage, yeah.
believe. Yeah, Hanabi played it.
Ooh, but the problem is... Okay, never mind. I was going to say MAD can flex the Lee Sin into mids, and then they could actually get themselves a winning top lane matchup, but they've decided no. They're just going to stick with the Viktor. They want control mage. They want a little bit more scaling in their composition, which Viktor is always going to offer. I think in general, the Viktor W is also really good against things like Aatrox, things like Udyr, because of the zone control that it can offer as well. Diving champions, it can also be pretty good as well, because you just chuck the gravity field on yourself. Looks like the Rakan hover right now. What do you think, Rakan into Nautilus?
It's not the easiest matchup to play in the world. Getting rooted obviously is a little bit painful, but you do have multiple dashes to get out of a fight. I prefer it than the Alistair, because Nautilus, a good Nautilus will just hook you out of your combo all the time on Alistair. You go in for the headbutt and anchor gets into your face and you can't really engage. So Rakan gives you a little bit more flankability and of course works so well in the bot lane duo of Xayah and Rakan.
True, very true. Well, we'll see how that one plays out. Do you imagine that MAD want to try and get their bot lane ahead, but they also want to try and get their top lane ahead? There is a lot of volatility in their composition, a little bit more early game focused, a lot of skirmishing power. The Viktor is kind of the part that stands out a little bit in terms of like what the rest of the comp wants to do, but MAD do also have very strong team fighting with their composition. A lot of AoE, a lot of engaged tools, a lot of ways to start off those fights. Damwon, they have priority in the mid lane early game, and you would imagine that ShowMaker and Canyon are going to use that to either try and gain advantages in the bot lane 2 versus 2. The great thing about Kai'Sa Nautilus is it is a very easy lane to be able to play through. Alternatively, you can go up towards the top side. Now, I'm not super confident in who outscales between Aatrox and Lee Sin. I have not really seen much of this matchup, so we're going to be paying attention, see how things go as the game progresses. Initially, I kind of want to say that the Aatrox should never really be able to kill the Lee, because
you should just jump away.
You only have one dash as the Aatrox, and so you can either dash away, you can kick him away. So in theory, the Aatrox shouldn't be able to win that 1v1 later on into the game anyway. So in my head, the Lee kind of outscales because he just has faster wave clear in his side lane. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and see and find out. So we'll keep track of that matchup as the game progresses. Either way, as we jump into game, reminder that Damwon were able to just dismantle MAD in the early game last time around. And once they had that early game lead, they never really let go of it. And I think this time around, MAD have adapted and said, well, okay, we want a little bit more early game power. We want the ability to actually skirmish, duel, go for trades, maybe even win out in the 1v1s or the 2 versus 2s, so that we can get our own early leads, and then we're going to look to try and team fight you later on into the game. So we'll see if MAD's adaptations will pay off for them.
Of course, MAD on a 2-game losing streak at the moment after losing to Damwon and PSG yesterday. And I want to turn those fortunes around, especially with PSG looking so strong ahead of them and C9 having everything to fight for behind them.
And again, we also want to see MAD be competitive with them, right? Because I think coming into the tournament, expectations were that Damwon and RNG were the clear favorites, and it was going to be a battle between those two at the top to determine who would win out on MSI. And then a lot of people would say that MAD, C9, and PSG are kind of clumped together. Initially, people kind of rated MAD higher, and then they said, well, okay, maybe MAD can challenge. They played RNG, they played Damwon. They didn't really show anything, right? Now, PSG have only progressively gotten better. They not only beat RNG, but they had a very competitive game just last game. So PSG are clearly showcasing their growth, and that's going to make, if they're able to qualify for the semis, which right now they're looking like in prime condition to do so, they're going to have a competitive game. The question is, can now MAD do the same, especially with C9 in a difficult position, but right behind them and looking to try and catch up and also earn that spot in the semifinals.
Exactly. A single win throughout the course of today for MAD Lions puts them so much closer to one of those semi-final berths, and we see Carzzy and Kaiser getting down towards that bottom lane just a little bit late. Both the junglers starting without a leash as expected, but Elyoya will be pathing top to bot, whereas Canyon will be pathing bot to top. Kaiser takes a bit of a chunk. The Guardian on Rakan will keep him pretty healthy for now, but that is, of course, his keystone down for the next little while.
So you can see MAD have kind of invested early vision across the board. They have one on their rafters, and they also have one in the top river. This is primarily to track out any level 1 shenanigans, any early game playmaking, but for the time being, it looks like both junglers doing pretty standard clears. Udyr, of course, the power farming king, has already cleared his bot side, has now made his way onto the rafters, and Elyoya now doing the same thing. A ping did just come through onto the Raptors. Elyoya doesn't care. Very little that he can really do about it now, so he's just going to have to give away that information. That means that Ghost and BeryL will likely just allow this wave to bounce back towards them. They're going to thin it out just a little bit, but I'd be surprised if they want to keep this push up, because there is the risk of a jungle gank heading their way very soon, and Canyon won't be in a position to assist.
Grand Engine's going to come in there. BeryL knocked up, but the Aftershock will make him very tanky and not too susceptible to any DPS. The ward in the Tribush, of course, will keep Ghost and BeryL a little bit safer as Elyoya makes his way through the bottom side of his jungle. Elyoya will be very happy with the way this early game has gone, because yesterday against PSG, he was in this exact same matchup, and he didn't get 5 of his first 6 camps. So just getting a singular jungle clear, it's much better than his performance yesterday.
Certainly is. Now we'll see if he gets himself the Scuttle Crab as well. Looks like he's actually going to reset. Because his bot lane has priority and because ShowMaker has priority as well, I think he's just accepted that that is not an objective that he can contest right now. Are we going to see the flash from Canyon? No, we're not. Instead, he's going to focus on getting that bot Scuttle. What I liked from Damwon, which we're not going to really get to see now, but I'm going to highlight it anyway. There was this ward that, oh, they've actually put it back there. There's the ward that was here to track along with this ward, because they knew that Elyoya was in the bot side of the map. So what they wanted to do was track when he moved into the river so that they can then move down and contest. And Elyoya respected that, responded to it, and doesn't actually gamble on the Scuttle Crab, which means, yes, he's going to be a little bit behind in the matchup, but he's just accepted it and said, there's nothing else I can really do about it, as he now looks for a gank in top lane.
Armut down to 200 HP here. It's going to be a little bit hairy as they go in. Khan flashes away from the Sonic Wave and will survive.
So a bit of a misstep there from Khan. He should have respected that a little bit more, but I think that with the slow push that was building up, he needed to push his wave underneath the tower, and he ends up losing his flash as a result of that. So good punish there from MAD. The question is, can they go back and find another punish? They go in onto Ghost.
Ghost has to pop the heal to get himself out of that. The hypercharge used as well. Is able to escape, but that's a summoner down for really not too much. BeryL using his hook a bit too aggressively. And as soon as you see that hook down as Rakan, you know you can go in, you know you can step forward because there's no threat of getting locked in spot.
Canyon doing what he often does, contesting for those Raptors. And it was a window with which he was able to take it. He went Gromp straight into Raptors, really good timing. He will also get spotted out, so he's gonna move straight back towards his own Raptors as a sleep come down onto Humanoid.
Humanoid does have flash, but Canyon's gonna flash across the wall, gets the stun. ShowMaker trying to do what he can, but Humanoid trying to dodge the paddle star, just about survives, but oh, the Siphon power's enough. Humanoid gets the shield off the Q, keeps himself alive, and Elyoya will be here to catch this mid wave. Dodge away here by Kaiser. BeryL hooks a minion and ignites Kai'Sa. And that is another summoner spell down.
Wow, Humanoid played that perfectly. I am really impressed. The problem for Humanoid is that he used his teleport, which means that he can't really afford to base right now, otherwise he's going to lose so much in the 1v1. I imagine he's going to drop his ultimate, but does he have enough mana? Only 94 right now. Should have enough mana now. I expect him to just drop it and back. No? Is he going to stick around? Okay, he's not going to. But the thing is, ShowMaker does have that TP advantage over him. So he can kind of stay in the lane, keep the push up, because he knows that Humanoid is going to run out of mana, and Humanoid's just going to have to accept I've lost a wave here because I did make that small blunder a little bit earlier on in the lane. But I kind of wish we had a little bit more time to talk about what Canyon was doing earlier, because we saw a really beautiful example of, once again, of how Damwon play for their jungle and how the vision was just set up perfectly. And I don't know whether it's a communication thing where ShowMaker is telling Canyon or Canyon is telling ShowMaker or whatever, but there was just wards in the river saying he's going to try and answer by taking my Raptors. And look, now they're set up for the Scuttle Crab. Perfect positioning, TP answer. Elyoya should die here.
Elyoya is going to get chased down. Does still have the flash, of course. Canyon burnt his earlier. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will go wide. Elyoya invests the flash into getting away, but MAD Lions might not be done with this. Humanoid coming in, has the ultimate. Armut looking for the kick as well. ShowMaker dodging to the side as much as he can. Canyon, flash, kick, knocked away. He's still got HP. Canyon surviving, dodges the Sonic Wave. And Armut kicks the bear to safety and now is being collapsed on. World Ender from Khan. Infernal Chains will not pull back Humanoid, but he hasn't got anywhere to go. The gravity field coming out as well as ShowMaker will kill off Armut.
Huge execution error there from Armut, and Canyon's able to get away with his life. I liked the collapse from MAD, and if they're able to kill Canyon, this could have been worth it, but it ends up in disaster. Damwon find themselves with another early game lead and kills onto the two solo laners.
1,000 gold ahead. BeryL's going to have to flash here. Ignite going down as well. Carzzy's on the chase. Ghost forced away. MAD Lions bot lane does have that summoner spell advantage from the heal and the ignite being burnt earlier, so they can be that little bit more aggressive.
You can see the Guardian so powerful as well when it comes to these early skirmishes. Every time you think you went out on the trade, he turns it around. So Elyoya knows that Canyon is here, decides to challenge him anyway. ShowMaker with the TP is able to respond first, and then this will force the flash out from Elyoya because he's going to get slept. Armut, though, is saying, hey, we can collapse on this. We win out on the 2 versus 2. Khan is way behind me. And then ShowMaker's forced to split apart from Canyon because of the W. And then the flat, he knocks him out of the gravity storm, and he's gonna die if he just takes one more tick. Then he misses the Q. Just a misjudge of damage from Armut, and now they're up a creek without a paddle. And unfortunately, there's nowhere left for them to swim to. ShowMaker and Khan are easily able to collapse onto that. And they end up coming out ahead. Beautiful stuff from Damwon, and Armut's gonna be frustrated with himself after that.
Did go for the Executioner's calling first on this Lee Sin, so perhaps just overestimated the amount of damage he would usually have at this point in the game. Damwon KIA with a 1,400 gold lead. They didn't get that topside scuttle, but they have got advantages in the top lane, in the mid lane, and bot lane is pretty much even. MAD Lions unable to get the early leads we were looking for here, Vedius.
Yep, a lot of that deficit coming out in the mid lane. Remember that Humanoid had to lose one wave in mids because he used his TP, took a huge chunk of damage. ShowMaker had that TP advantage, and ShowMaker basically just playing that early lane so well against Humanoids. And on top of that, getting himself a kill and an assist. So that's kind of where that gold difference is coming from right now. Of course, Humanoid will continue to scale later on into the game, but that doesn't mean that Zoe's not going to scale as well. She's going to play a little bit different as the game progresses. Let's see what happens next. Canyon flashes in.
Flash, bear, slap. Elyoya puts down the equalizer, but the chains will pull him back. Khan takes the kill. And this roaming death squad from Damwon KIA is coming in clutch.
Canyon, he just knows what Elyoya is trying to do at every stage of the game. He's matching him, he's controlling him, and now he's finally able to punish him as he does successfully get a kill. Uses that flash and is able to shut down the young rookie jungler of MAD Lions. Now they're going to play for this Rift Herald as a 2v2 happening once again.
Kaiser diving in onto BeryL. Of course, there's no flash on that Nautilus. Heal is popped. Kaiser low, down to about 200 HP. Carzzy has used his own heal, and MAD Lions will be able to disengage. Meanwhile, on the top side, Canyon takes the Rift Herald here for Damwon.
That was a very close trade between the two bot laners. Damwon, though, they're really handling the pressure very well. Considering how strong the MAD 2v2 feels, they're able to just weather the storm. They did lose a couple summoner spells earlier on, but it does not matter to them. They're staying even in CS, and they're kind of playing that weak side very, very well. Meanwhile, ShowMaker is continuing to build advantages, Canyon doing the same thing, and that's going to be another play for ShowMaker in mid lane. So advantages continue to grow. 2K is the goal lead. The question is now, can MAD do something about it? Because last time, Damwon was able to get this early lead, and then they just kind of slowly suffocated MAD out. MAD didn't really do anything in response. They have a composition that can do things in the early game, can look for plays. The question is, will they? Will they take those gambles? Will they take those risks in early skirmishes, or will they just wait for the team fights later on?
It's so difficult for MAD Lions in this sort of situation, especially since this is how they lost the game. The last time these two teams faced, they fell behind early and really just couldn't find anything to do. Elyoya has been all over the map, but Canyon has been tracking him at every opportunity. Canyon starting up the dragon. Elyoya does have the equalizer. Carzzy and Kaiser looking for an opportunity to engage. The quickness available for Kaiser alongside that flash, not as powerful as it used to be. Of course, you can't quickness straight into flash, but you can flash quickness. Instead, Elyoya will back away as the MAD Lions bot lane pushes in the wave.
Damwon do this thing where they're just so good with vision, right? And I just want to highlight it on the minimap, and if our observers have the opportunity to showcase how much that Damwon can see, it's like they just have so much vision control, wards across the board, absolutely everywhere, and they just suffocate people out. All these wards littered across the river. It makes it so much harder for MAD to actually find those plays. Yep. It's also how you prevent Elyoya from answering back any of the jungle invades coming out from Canyon. And now they can set up for this Rift Herald play where they're actually going to take the mid tower very early on into the game. Just such excellent control coming out from Damwon and showcasing why they are such a world-class team.
Humanoid with the gravity field was able to keep the tower alive for a second until ShowMaker hops and skips his way forward for that final auto attack. And now Canyon has so much more free reign to do things like this. Gets in behind Humanoid, gravity well coming down. Humanoid will flash to safety.
Just exquisite play overall from Damwon. I love looking at their vision control because it is just exemplary. They just have all the right vision in all the right places at all the right times. Like, very rarely do you see this many control wards being placed across the map. Like, he even has a ward right now on the enemy rafters once again, so he can check out when Elyoya is doing them, if he even is. He's expecting right now Elyoya to do a top side clear into bot, and that means that there's an opportunity for him to steal something. Like,
Elyoya spotted again.
And now they have information. Now they can steal away those camps. They may even set up for a red invade. Like, it's just so well done. It's beautiful. Love to watch from the side of Damwon. It just goes to show, like, how difficult it is to challenge a team like this. When games look close, you have to really give a lot of respect to the teams that are actually able to bring Damwon to that position, because it is a very difficult thing to do, especially when they starve you and suffocate you as Khan now for the collapse.
Humanoid has no flash and he's got nowhere to go. Khan on a killing spree now on this Aatrox 3-0-1, looking to continue the 100% win rate that Aatrox has at MSI 2021.
Khan just using his window there. He knew that Armut had just reset. They had full vision control over the top side jungle, and they're able to collapse on a flashless mid lane that doesn't have a tower. Just excellent stuff. Damwon continue to suffocate out MAD.
It's truly just so impressive to watch, because it's vision control gets you the flash in the mid lane. Then Khan uses the vision control on the top side of the map to get back into mid lane and punish that flash. And although games with Damwon don't always have tons of kills, they're not the bloodfests that we expect from, you know, LPL teams or from these more aggressive teams. They are so measured and so methodical in the steps that they take to shut the enemy out, and they give you so few opportunities. And that's why coming into this game, we said we wanted to see more from MAD in the early game. We wanted to see more of that aggression. And here, Damwon KIA have shut that down. They have said, no, you are not allowed to look for these plays. And even when MAD have, even in that bottom lane, when MAD had a couple of opportunities, Damwon have been just that mechanically bit better. and being able to stop them in their tracks. Ground Engine's here onto Canyon. He's charmed up, the quickness coming out. Kaiser's going to dodge away. TP coming in as MAD look to join the fray. Humanoid diving onto BeryL, counter TP from Khan. Canyon low. ShowMaker getting the damage in from the side, though. There's the paddle staff. Feather Storm comes out. Carzzy able to survive for the moment. Importantly, Armut did not burn his teleport to get in here. Khan locked up. The equalizer across the wall. Burning the trees, I'm sure, but not too many of Damwon. Instead, Elyoya flashes forward with the flame spitter, and now Armut joins the fray. BeryL down as well. MAD Lions have found a bit of a skirmish in the bottom lane, a bit of a fight that they were looking for, and they will force DWG KIA back.
So DWG end up struggling in this 5 versus 5. MAD are able to actually come out ahead. It was Canyon that was caught out on vision, but oh look, Canyon stealing jungle camps again. Looking for that man, he is looking in the enemy jungle. But very well played fight from MAD, good patience. Armut held onto the TP for a very long time saying, do I need to come, do I need to come? And then the moment Khan oversteps, he tries to collapse onto Carzzy. That was MAD Lions' opportunity to strike. They're able to find a successful pick. And let's have a look at the new Axe Effect replay as to how this all came to be. So Carzzy used his E actually very early. They get a good chunk of damage down onto Canyon. He's like, okay, I'm out. No need to commit to this fight. But then ShowMaker's coming in on the flank and they're like, oh, actually, MAD's overcommitting to this a little bit. Let's see if we can actually go for this. Canyon's still in an awkward position, though. It's kind of a 4 versus 4 as ShowMaker's still zoned away. Then this moment, the moment Khan gets rooted up, that's when the chain CC comes through from MAD. Khan overcommits trying to kill Kaiser, and while they do get the kill on him, you can see that now DWG is in the awkward position as MAD is able to chase them down. Ghost even forced to flash out from that situation as well. So good team fight from MAD, but it's not gonna get them back the early gold deficit they find themselves in for now.
Yeah, still a 3,000 gold lead here for DWG KIA. We saw the gold graph on the side a moment ago. ShowMaker 2,000 ahead of Humanoid right now. And with the Infernal Dragon up in 2 seconds, it looks like DWG KIA want to gain control of this bot side river once again. MAD Lions currently occupying it. They've got their feet a little bit wet as they paddle through it. And DWG KIA, well, they put on their floaties and they are going to gain control of that river once again. Canyon will start up the dragon, and MAD Lions look to take the Rift Hold in response.
Yeah, kind of crazy how DWG just kind of took that back.
Yeah, they just walked into it. It's like, hey.
Yeah, I didn't get to see exactly their vision setup, but I think because DWG could also come in through the bot lane, that was why MAD felt like that with only control in mid, they didn't feel confident enough to actually push through the river. In any case, we do have a question from Jet Manamo Alexander. Can MAD find the formula to crush the World Champions, or will it be classic DK 1 war win? Well, right now, it feels like that MAD don't quite have the formula, but they are setting up for the cross map. They're at a bit of a goal disadvantage, but Carzzy's kind of the player I'm looking at. I feel like he's had a great tournament. Even in the loss yesterday to PSG, I felt like he was still a consistent playmaker. He's a little bit ahead of Ghost. He has good items, and I think he can be a carry. The question is, will it be enough, especially when ShowMaker is so strong? And I mean, look at Humanoid, hasn't even completed his first item yet.
I'm looking for how MAD navigate some of these team fights that will come in later on, because of course with DWG KIA getting that second dragon, we are on track for an Ocean Soul in about 26 minutes or so. We've got 4 minutes on this Drake and then another 5 after that, and Damwon with Ocean will be very difficult to deal with. And you look at it, MAD do have good tools for a team fight. You've got the gravity field to lock people in place. If you can get that with an equalizer layered on top of it, that is a huge amount of damage. The quickness groups them all together for it as well. But this is so difficult for MAD because, Vedi, this vision we keep talking about. Look at how many wards DWG KIA have right now in the MAD jungle. They don't need to control the top side of the map. They have so much on the bottom. And it makes it so easy for Khan to escape a gank, for ShowMaker to escape a gank, because you always know where MAD Lions are.
Exactly that. And Khan recognizes he's going to get collapsed on. This is the weak side of the map. DK gonna do the cross map and just continue to trade these out of towers. Both AD carries are being the benefactors of this. Funnel as much gold as you can. Humanoid now respecting the fact that without a mid tier 1, Canyon can do this. And overall, great play from DWG.
It's kind of reminiscent of, you know, the LCK glory days, the way that they controlled the game, when the LCK would out-macro the world, and we saw SKT winning World Championship after World Championship, and that is what DWG KIA are doing to MAD Lions here. Of course, I'm not comparing MAD Lions to Worlds finalists, but it is a solid style of play, and it just shuts your opposition down. And when Canyon could just walk in and yoink a red buff with a smite, it becomes so demoralizing, because every play you try to make, the enemy just walks away from it, and you can never find a purchase, an avenue back into the game.
And look, pings right now for MAD Lions into their own jungle. They're basically saying, Canyon might be here. Canyon is continuing to suffocate. Canyon is trying to take absolutely everything away. They even had to bring in Kaiser here. And so much vision investment is to just denial. And it's just, we've said it before, it's just great to watch this vision control. I will say that a lot of this comes down to, though, that early 2 versus 2. If MAD had killed Canyon, this could have been a different game.
Yep.
If Armut hadn't messed up his kick, the control that Damwon had in the early game may have been very different. ShowMaker wouldn't be at the advantage position that he's in right now.
3K ahead, Vedi.
He has the goal difference right now. And it's crazy. Like, bear in mind, Elyoya stayed relatively even with Canyon in terms of goal, but the things that Canyon has given his team is just have been so powerful. So props to Damwon, continuing to look good. And again, we keep saying, like, let's see what we see from MAD, because we're hoping to see something. Right now, they're sieging onto the mid-tier 1, trying to take this final outer tower as Ghost is pushed in the bot wave. Someone from MAD has to now go and answer that. Armut does have the TP, so does Humanoid. You expect them to send Armut around there, but Humanoid also really needs farm. So perhaps they just want to funnel more resources into him. Instead, they're actually saying, Carzzy, you should take this. With the Drake spawning in about a minute's time, we want to keep you on the bot side of the map anyway. And we can keep Viktor mid with his wave clear, because he's got the upgraded E now and he should be able to just one-shot the wave. Meanwhile, as MAD answer waves, Damwon take control of the jungle with their vision investment.
It's one of those games where I wonder if Humanoid picking up an Oracles might be beneficial for MAD Lions. Of course, you want the extra wards on the map, but having 3 Oracles when you are so down in vision can really help you just clear out the extra wards that Damwon KIA are placing, because right now Damwon KIA have total control of this bot side jungle. Here is the sweeper. Doubled, I believe, from Elyoya and Kaiser. A little bit of a waste there, but that's okay for the moment as they step forward towards this Ocean Dragon that will be spawning in 19 seconds. It's not sold yet, but it is soul point for Damwon KIA. If they can get it, MAD Lions will make a foray into the top of the river. They're trying to gain the mid priority, trying to get that wave pushing in as they go forward. Canyon stepping in, Khan in a really good position here. He's got the flank, he dives onto Armut, who will use the safeguard to jump away. MAD Lions have a wave pushing mid with the cannon. Ghost the only one there to defend it, and Kaiser stepping in. Gravity Field will keep Damwon KIA away from the fight for the moment. That tower almost falls. Flash, hook, but Kaiser flashes in front of it. The charm coming out, and there's the equalizer. Doesn't really hit onto too many people, but BeryL is low. Featherstone pop from Kaiser, and Armut dives in, kills off BeryL. Here comes Khan. The world ender gonna end some kills today. Elyoya next on the menu. Kaiser trying to just peel back for Carzzy, but ShowMaker stepping in. Ghost is stepping in, and Damwon KIA are stepping in. They are saying this game is over.
5 dead on the side of MAD Lions as Damwon get an ace at 22 minutes into the game. MAD, they tried to make a play happen. Armut overcommits though, getting a kill onto BeryL, and that was the beginning of the end of the fight. Such beautiful execution from Damwon. They're gonna get themselves a very early Baron. They're likely gonna get themselves their 3rd Drake of the game as well. Damwon, from start to finish, have been in complete control and are looking to shut down Europe's representatives.
It's not just the vision denial, it's not just the jungle camps being stolen away, it's also the fact that Damwon will out-team fight you. And now Armut trying to get in here, trying to get some sort of semblance of hope for MAD Lions, but Damwon are here once again. Armut is rooted in place. He has to dive over the wall, and Humanoid is next on the menu. Kaiser diving in, diving forward. There's the equalizer onto BeryL. He will burn down. Tick, tick, boom. MAD Lions get a kill, but Damwon have control of the dragon, and they will get their 3rd dragon of the game.
They do end up losing their support, but worthy sacrifice on the side of BeryL as Damwon get absolutely everything. Let's have a look back at this fight. So the flash in for BeryL, the response from Kaiser. He wants to body block for his AD carry. The Rumble ultimate not doing a huge amount. Same for the Chaos Soul. This is when Armut overcommits, thinking that he can get this kill, but he has no way out, which means that the Drowsy then applies onto Elyoya, and you can see how the chase down then comes through from Ghost and ShowMaker. The ultimate unavailable from Carzzy. Actually missed where he ended up using that earlier. But MAD, as they tried to escape, end up getting chased down by Damwon and absolutely obliterated.
And the gold lead has just snowballed. 8,000 ahead now for Damwon KIA, and they still have a minute and a half on this Red Bull Baron power play. They are in such a dominant position. Humanoid is spinning. Oh my goodness, you blink and you miss it. Carzzy's just dead. Damwon KIA now pushing in mid, pushing in bot. They don't care about Humanoid. Go, get some minions. Get your farm up. We will take Your towers will take your inhibs, and they are pressing through the mid lane and the bottom lane simultaneously. Mid lane inhibitor burst on the menu here for Damwon.
It's just control, 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 into team fight, into game.
Yep.
Like, just beautiful stuff from beginning to end from Damwon. Absolutely excellently played, and MAD once again struggling to showcase anything against the LCK representatives. That's going to be the second inhibitor taken down. And
10,000 gold lead now, Vedius.
10,000 gold lead. Like, there is very little way in which MAD can come back into this game. Just an impressive performance across the board from Damwon. And like, I can't help but think that 2v2 that happened in the river, if Canyon had died, could this have been a different game? Could MAD have kept the game a little bit more even? It's difficult to say, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, Damwon have so much of an advantage. Canyon is going to take everything.
Steals away the blue buff, emotes as he leaves. Canyon having a field day, and Damwon KIA really, the game is very much in their hands right now. Double inhibitors down, they can push in the top wave. Baron about to fall off, of course, but Damwon could take a fight. They could go at a numbers disadvantage. They haven't even lost their mid-tier 1 yet, Vedius. They are so powerful, so strong. 3 items on Ghost, 3 items complete as well for ShowMaker. That Medja, as I see that Death Note sitting there as BeryL looks for a flank position. MAD Lions, 4 players strong here. Armut doesn't have the TP to join them, and they will settle for just the tower, but the rest of Damwon just push in this top lane.
I like they're going to trade the tier 2 for the tier 1 in mid. The rest of MAD are going to be forced to reset. Remember, they don't have any inhibs, so they're going to have to catch the mid wave. Damwon now threatening the final tower of the base.
Have to feel it's the final countdown here for MAD. Something miraculous would have to come out if they're going to turn this game around. Canyon and Khan just distracting, making faces at MAD as they push them underneath their inhibitor tower once again. The wave about 7 seconds or so away. Elyoya takes a chunk. Paddle Star goes straight into his back as Canyon catches this wave as well. Super minions now almost on the Nexus towers, and Armut will be sent to deal with them. Canyon walking in, uninvited into the base of MAD Lions, but he doesn't care, he doesn't need a ticket. Very happy just to push forward as Khan continues just to threaten the side here of MAD Lions. He can walk these minions in. You can see there's a huge wave in bot lane, Vedi. That's going to be there in about 30 seconds time, and that's double super minions. Elyoya takes a Paddle Star.
It doesn't matter how many you miss, as long as one hits.
Got to hit one. I mean, when you've got 12 stack Medjais, a Horizon Focus, and an Everfrost, you are going to do quite a sizable chunk of damage. More like a Paddle Galaxy than a Star in that sort of situation. Chaos Storm used to clear out the wave, but that wave we talked about in the bot lane is marching forward. Relentless and currently unstopped. Carzzy will be there to deal with it. Damwon KIA don't have a wave really in the top lane, so they are just pushing in with these supers for the moment. Wave's not quite as synced as they'd like. Quickness coming out, BeryL going in. The equalizer misses too much, and there's the stopwatch from BeryL. He's going to keep himself alive for the moment as Damwon KIA fighting a 4v5. 1 kill over to the MAD Lions. Khan knocked back, but he's in the world. Endo did get turned this one around. Look at the healing. Kaiser's going to land the knock of Khan. One more auto will be enough. Carzzy pulling back. Canyon's down as well. MAD Lions found the miraculous fight they were looking for.
Hang on. MAD were not supposed to win that fight. That has definitely gone against the plans of Damwon. That doesn't necessarily mean that MAD are now back in the game, but it's step 1 of the comeback process. The Drake is spawning in about 10 seconds time. There is no jungle on the side of Damwon.
I mean, they can burst this pretty quickly.
Well, who are you talking about?
Damwon.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough. BeryL's on his way back. Armut is here with the squad. And MAD are going to buy a little bit more time. So the thing is, I was thinking to myself, okay, the siege from Damwon is fine, because all they're really doing is waiting for MAD to make a mistake, right?
Sure.
You send one person to catch that wave bot, and then you can then push in top, take top tower, right? I think the problem for Damwon is their waves aren't really synced up, so there's actually a window of opportunity here for MAD to take a fight, because Ghost is split from the team, so BeryL dies. Then this play from Armut, clutch, sets up Khan to be in this very awkward position. He's then forced to flash, Kaiser gets the knock-up, and then Carzzy gets that kill. And then Canyon, bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from him. Normally he would disengage, he then actually goes back in. But it looks like with the Baron respawning, Damwon's just going to grab this objective. It's unlikely that MAD is actually going to be able to contest this. So MAD is going to have to find another miracle fight into another Drake, into a lot.
It feels like they need a few miracle fights in a row. Like, as much as they won that last fight, it was more pride for Lions than anything else, and Damwon still very much in control of this game. 8,000 gold ahead, 4 minutes on an Ocean Soul if they want it. They have the Baron in their back pocket, and 4 items on ShowMaker's Zoe. Armut is looking to see if he can catch someone here. Of course, could insect someone back into his team. Doesn't have the flash right now, so it would have had to be a ward hop kickback. Kaiser in a good flank position, has the flash, has the quickness, but long-range Sleepy Trouble Bubble won't quite connect onto Mad Lions. Where are the super minions in the other lanes? Well, they're not there anymore, Vedius, because those inhibitors have respawned. Khan's going to walk in. A cannon wave in mid. Mad Lions might look for the opportunity to engage. Humanoid was slept. Paddlestar goes wide. Khan now pressing forward. And the thing with this is Mad Lions really have to pull the trigger. You have to make a fight happen before you start to lose your inhibs again. Otherwise, you're against super minions and a Baron buff. Damwon will take the mid lane inhibitor. Khan can work his way down towards the bottom side. Mad going in. Kaiser looking for the engage on Canyon. Quickness was not popped there. The sleep onto Elyoya takes him down to half HP alongside a Paddlestar. Top lane inhibitor tower will fall, and Damwon KIA just pulling Mad all around the map. Carzzy exhausted. Hook. Oh, that dredge line was a whisker away from hitting. Carzzy almost took the bait, but Damwon continue just to push in. Khan will take the bot lane inhibitor. Here goes Kaiser with the quickness, knocked up with a depth charge. He really can't find the engage. Armut diving forward as well. Kaiser pops the stopwatch, but Mad Lions now on the back foot. Canyon down to about 300 HP. Carzzy puts the feathers down. BeryL falling low as well. Humanoid forced away. BeryL will fall. 4v4 now in the base of Mad. Ghost diving in with the killer instinct. He falls to the equalizer, but so does Carzzy. 1-for-1 trade. Humanoid still alive, coming back off the fountain. ShowMaker diving forward. Canyon on the Nexus towers will be forced away with the Death Ray, but all 3 inhibitors have now fallen. ShowMaker picks up a stopwatch just in case one isn't enough. Gets kicked back, but he's killed off Elyoya. Diving forward, Khan will take another. Canyon. Mischief managed for him as he flashes away from the Death Ray, and Humanoid can only flash back to his fountain. Damwon will secure their spot alongside RNG in the semi-finals as they dismantle the Mad Lions here. An incredible performance in control from start to finish.
Damwon lost 1 fight, but outside of that, it was flawless. Excellent performance from Damwon. And they just, how else can I say it? They just played extremely well. Their vision control was a joy to watch. They never gave Mad the room to breathe. And Carzzy, he had some moments, but like, it feels that Mad are just never given the opportunity to make these plays. Some of the ways in which they found wins in the past was clever ganks, good counter ganks, but it feels like the Canyon just reads everything that Elyoya does. Perhaps we're seeing a bit of a difference in experience come through, you know? Perhaps, you know, the rookie versus the world champ, maybe you're starting to feel it a little bit. Of course, Mad Lions, they still have the ability to make it out of the group stages.
Yeah.
They're still in a pretty good position, of course. Cloud9 is the team that's in the difficult situation, and they are going to be going up against RNG next. But if they can get a big win there, things start to get a little more interesting.
They really do. I think Cloud9 have a long road to the semi-finals, but they can definitely still make it. You can check out RNG and C9's team's anthem and the rest of the teams competing at MSI on the official LoL playlist on Spotify. See more from the pros and the casts of MSI on why they chose their anthems. After this game, we have Cloud9 versus RNG. We'll be back right after this break.
will find X3 Pro.
Welcome back, everyone, to the State Farm Analyst Desk, where Damwon Kia lock in the knockout stage with this win over the MAD Lions. Now, before this game, Lyric, we wanted to see a bit more proactivity out of the MAD Lions and a bit more agency in the laning phase. Talk to me about their draft, and do you think they gave themselves enough tools? I mean, obviously, they lost the game, but when you saw this draft come out.
Oh,
I can't hear Lyric.
Yeah.
Can I sign to him?
Okay, well, I can take over this point a little bit and just talk about the draft. So there's two interesting things in the draft, right? It was the Rakan blind pick into this one, not blind pick so much, but into the Nautilus Kai'Sa, which kind of is difficult. Aftershock supports is normally where Rakan kind of struggles, and that's why we don't see too much Rakan. We normally just see Elyoya and Nautilus trade, so they want more engage, obviously. And then I think that the Aatrox pick, which is interesting, right? Just a blind pick Aatrox. They knew the Lee Sin was going mid, Humanoid doesn't play it, and it just seemed like the Aatrox pick was just good because they had two melee champs in the top side, right? Rumble, Lee Sin just allows Aatrox to get more resets.
To balance everything out. Lyric, I think you're back. Oh my God, fake news.
Fake news. Fake news, not quite yet.
I'm so sorry, we're not trying to pull your leg. I'm so sorry. But there is a point I would like to transfer into, and that is about Elyoya. Now, he is a very big talking point for the side of the MAD Lions. He was the rookie of the split, and we were actually singing his praises for most of this tournament, I think, up until the last couple of games, yesterday primarily. And as we pull up kind of the champions that he has great stats on compared to the others, I want to ask you the question if his priority on taking the Rumble, because because obviously it's an S-tier pick. But if he should just drop that, especially if the enemy team doesn't have it, because he just seems to be so much better on especially things like Udyr, and maybe he should like go to a lower tier of jungler that gives him a bit more comfort.
I think you're completely right, and I think that if you look at the LEC as a whole, you think of Hecarim, Udyr, Volibear. These were his bread and butter. Olaf was there here and there, but that's how Elyoya got his leads. These kind of bruiserish champions that can go forwards and make plays happen, whether it's engage, whether it's team fight potential, or whether it's just being able to have early priority on the Volibear and look for ganks, right? And I think that when you look at Elyoya on mages like Morgana and Rumble, these champions don't provide you with too much CC, barring a couple skill shots here and there. They don't provide you too much engage. It's more of a scaling pick, which suits the team fights, and you get the engage from the support role. And I think that although MAD Lions can pull this off, I think that Elyoya on more playmaking champs is just more comfortable and looks better.
Yeah, and obviously you are right. If you get the Rumble ultimate correct in the team fights, of course you're going to get an advantage. But I think the key lays here in that he's gone up against opponents in the last couple of games, namely River, namely Canyon, who spot out these early games from him and put him so far behind that the MAD Lions have nothing to work with.
Yeah, and they both played Udyr when they shut him down, right? The strong champion in the early game can actually fight the Rumble, the Morgana, who are quite weak in the early stages of the game, who need to get to level 6 to actually have the team fight ultimate, and then they need setup, right? Morgana, Rumble need setup, and that's why the ultimates are actually so powerful in fights. But I think Elyoya should be the setup for MAD Lions. I think that the Udyr is his most successful champion at MSI so far, and I'm shocked to see that they didn't actually first pick it away. I think the reason they didn't do it is because they wanted some kind of carry top with the AP jungle. But then again, you're playing mixed, you're playing AP mid jungle as well, so I think Udyr could have suited it better.
And I think it just goes to show how complicated of a puzzle it is to put together, not only in the draft, but also in game, when you're playing a team like DWG KIA, as we see our drive to victory presented by Mercedes-Benz. MAD Lions were on the back foot for most of it, and even though they fought back, it was never enough.
Yeah, as we look at MAD Lions team comp, lots of team fight, right? They want to group up and force things because the Aatrox probably wins on side, and they don't want to get poked out by the Zoe. So the initial engage was good, the equalizer goes a bit wide, but once the equalizer and the Viktor ultimate are gone, there goes your zoning tools. Yes, you get a pick off the back of the fight from Armut, but then when DWG can run forwards and you have nothing to stop them in the equalizer, the Viktor ult, the Viktor W, Udyr goes brrr.
He does. He goes in, just slaps some bear slaps, Phoenix Dance is just, it's all bad news. And well, I heard the casters also talk about for things like, oh, well, if Armut hits that Q in that early game kerfuffle, yes, then you win. But it just goes to show you have no room to play with when you play versus DWG KIA. One missed Q can mean the end of the game.
Yeah, definitely. That was a mechanical misplay from Armut, of course, kicking him away when the Chaos Storm was active. Maybe he could have got more damage out. But if you just look at it, the Zoe into Viktor again, mid-priority. I think DWG just had mid-priority. They had a wing jungle matchup, and from there it just fell apart.
Yeah, wiggle room, I think, was the word I was looking for, Lyric. But showed again, DWG KIA seems that they have patched up a lot of the errors we've seen from them in these previous games as they get ready for the knockout stage.
Yeah, they definitely have. I think their team fighting looked a lot more crisp this game than in a lot of other games. And I just love how much pressure ShowMaker's continuously been putting on the map. But this game especially, Con, right? Even though he was getting pushed in early, he was continuously moving around the map. And it really felt like him and ShowMaker are the ones stepping up more recently to make DWG that more complete team that we've always thought of them as.
Yeah, and even when they haven't had the most perfect early games or mid-game, ShowMaker has been having a beast of a tournament so far. But let's get the standings up, because that does mean that DWG KIA is now locked into the knockout stage, and a menace they are going to be in those best of fives. But let's take a look at the MAD Lions. Because of this loss, now they have the remaining games of Pentanet, RNG, and C9. Now, ideally, they need to win 2 of those at least. You already know where I'm going with this. It seems most likely that it will be the Cloud9 and the Pentanet game.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a battle between Cloud9 and MAD Lions, obviously. I think if Pentanet lose one more game, I believe they're out. They can't contest for that 4th spot, so it is going to be a battle between MAD Lions and Cloud9. Best of ones, can they upset, right? We've got Cloud9 coming up against RNG next, and if they can take down RNG and get that extra win, MAD Lions are the ones who are all of a sudden sweating. So they need to keep an eye on each other's games and be very careful.
Yeah, and I would like to approach this angle for C9 versus RNG, not from the side of, oh, you know, last chance saloon or whatever for Cloud9. I want to approach it from the side of Cloud9 can do this, Lyric. When we looked at the RNG versus C9 game that they played the first time around, it was incredibly close. And it just makes me believe that there are possibilities here. But what do you need to see out of Cloud9 to make sure that they can beat your LPL champion?
I feel like the first main thing, right, is they need to stabilize in the jungle, keep getting Blabber on something he's comfortable on. It's been that Udyr so far. Get perks on a mid laner that has prio, link those 2 up. And then I just love to see them involve Fudge more on the map, because Fudge has been the shining light for this team. I think if this team gets to the mid game, again, you already know RNG shenanigans. You know what to look out for this time. I think a win should be much more possible.
I completely agree with you. Before that, though, we have an interview with DWG KIA.
ShowMaker, thank you for joining me. Congrats on beating MAD Lions once again. This is actually a matchup that a lot of Western fans were looking forward to seeing, and you beat the ADC twice. So any words on MAD Lions and what you think about them after beating them twice now?
네, 우선 매드라이온즈 상대로 또 한 번의 승리를 가져오신 거 정말 축하드립니다. 사실은 서양 팬들이 정말 많이 이목을 집중한 그런 경기였거든요. 이제 LEC의 챔피언을 2번 잡은 만큼 매드라이온즈에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지도 궁금합니다.
일단 매드라이온즈는 제 생각엔 미드라이너 이제 휴머노이드 선수랑 이제 카르지 선수가 되게 잘한다고 생각해서 좀 미드 원딜을 좀 경기를 많이 했었는데 이제 오늘 경기 때는 약간 미드 차이를 조금 낸 것 같아서 기분이 좋은 것 같습니다.
So I think that Carzzy and Humanoid are the two centerpieces of their roster. They're super strong, so we kept our eye on them. But today I'm a little bit satisfied because I was able to slightly mid-gap a little bit.
I agree on that, unfortunately. Now, more general questions about the teams. Is there anything who surprised you so far at MSI?
그러면 한 번 더 이제 매드라이온즈에 대한 전반적인 좀 질문을 드리자면 조금 어떤 선수가 가장 좀 인상 깊었거나 좀 놀라게 했는지.
일단 원래는 제가 이제 좀 뭐 ADC 같은 걸 보면서 이제 휴머노이드 선수가 인상 깊었었는데 이번 MSI에서는 카르지 선수가 좀 공격적으로 되게 잘하는 것 같아서 이번 MSI 한정으로는 카르지 선수가 되게 잘한 것 같아요.
In terms of MAD Lions, when I was watching the LEC, I always thought I was really impressed by Humanoid. But in here at MSI, I think Carzzy, he was performing really well. Especially, he was really good at going really aggressively.
Yeah, I agree. He stepped up compared to the LEC. But now focusing more on the tournament, you qualified for the knockout stage. We will see you play best of 5 in the semifinals. Now, how does that make you feel as the defending world champions at MSI?
네, 이제 4강 진출을 확정 지으신 만큼 이제부터 다전제를 치를 예정이십니다. 월드 챔피언으로서 이제 다전제에 들어가는 마음가짐이 어떠신가요?
일단 다전제 같은 경우는 이제 좀 멘탈도 많이 중요하고 이제 챔프폭도 되게 중요해서 저희는 약간 그 부분에서 다들 경험이 많아가지고 좀 유리할 거라고 생각해서 빨리 해보고 싶어요.
I think in terms of the best of 5 series, I think mental fortitude and also champion pool matter a lot. So I think because we are a roster of a very experienced players, I think we have a slight edge over that. So I can't wait to play best of 5s.
And we can't wait to see you in that stage, ShowMaker. Now, last question. You qualified alongside RNG. Who do you think is the third strongest team and why?
RNG와 함께 이제 4강 진출을 확정 지으신 만큼 세 번째로 강한 팀은 어디로 생각하세요?
일단 PSG라고 생각하는데 저희의 다음 상대도 PSG이기 때문에 저희가 이기도록 하겠습니다.
PSG, which is our upcoming opponent, so we will make sure to take them down.
Yeah, I agree with you. They surprised everyone. We'll see how you match up against them later today. But ShowMaker, 감사합니다 for the interview. And Jason, thank you for the translation, as always.
Yeah. RNG can't see me. In the bush, cause we got the push. Fudge and Blabber fighting at the crabber. Will they win? I don't know. Perch gets it solo. And Vulcan take another ocean. Break the mental break. But now you can't shake. We came for the cup. We never give up. Yeah! Woo! 1, 2, 3.